Hi all. Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Hello and welcome back to video number 3. This is the third and final video of the day. And this video is going to cover what the heck is going on with BetterUp because there is drama. Okay, let's jump in and get there. Now, I previously did multiple videos about BetterUp because there was something not right here. So the first section is where I'm going to reiterate to you from a video I did a year ago how Harry took BetterUp and put it together with the Invictus games, in case you're new and you're unaware of that. So watch this to catch up. Prince Harry, who monetized the Invictus games, who's getting a fee to show up, and so is Meghan getting a fee to show up, has now taken his BetterUp company and has paired it with the Invictus games because he says the mind is like a muscle that needs to be honed and trained. The mind is an organ. The brain is an organ. Well, maybe in your case it's a muscle, but for everybody else, it's an organ. BetterUp put out a statement saying that they have now partnered with them and they're going to give support services. And I find it very interesting that if you read what they said, if you're very careful and you read it, what they said, look at this. It says they'll provide access to 500 members at no cost to the individual. Okay, which means that somebody else is paying for it. It's not free, people. It's free to the individual, but not free. So once again, Invictus Games or somebody associated with Invictus Games is shelling out money for Harry's pocket. Let's not forget, he is Chimpo of BetterUp. R. Baker 18 pointed out, if they're paying for this service, isn't it a conflict of interest for Harry using his charity to funnel customers to his business that employs him? And the answer to that is yes. It is a complete conflict of interest. I cannot believe this is being allowed. Angela 11 pointed out that Harry is taking advantage of physically and mentally damaged soldiers using the Invictus games to plug his mental health startup BetterUp. Yes, this is so wrong on so many levels. I mean, I can't. Now, this is a snippet from another video that I did because some major problems then showed up with BetterUp after they were put together with Invictus games. Listen to this. Is that there's a problem with BetterUp. According to one of the coaches there, they have hired and fired so many VPs, and nobody's even sure what Harry does there, and it's very smoke and mirrors, which makes it not very credible to a lot of the people who work there. Apparently, Harry went to work as the Chimpo, the Chief Impact Officer at the BetterUp company, which is promising to help promote the startup's mission of mental fitness, and they have like 2,000 coaches. Now, 6 months later, there's a big problem because BetterUp apparently announced it's going to modify their contracts, and what it is actually is a sneaky pay cut. The coaches spoke anonymously, and they said that one coach who their pay was slated to fall by a third. And that coach said, my heart is broken, and I think there's really questionable ethics going on because they've turned the coaches into a commodity. Apparently, there's a new rating system that influences how much they make, right? So the company announced a plan to cut a stipend coaches used for note-taking, researching clients, and assigning activities. So they're getting rid of them. And the new metrics retroactively evaluated coaches based on how life-changing a client found their guidance and how frequently they met for sessions. Get it? And one of the coaches said, listen, if I'm coaching a member, I don't want to be focused on how they're going to rate me. From an ethical perspective, we're there to coach the client, not have them press the like button. There you go. So now that all of this is happening, BetterUp now is saying that they're going to modify the original plan, although the details of what they're going to do are very vague. Now, the company put out some sort of a statement, and like one of the coaches said, I'm relieved, but I'm not satisfied. And the fact that BetterUp rolled out their plan at all makes me very suspect of their intentions and makes me distrust them. They said it was demeaning and insulting to have to pressure them to not give us pay cuts. It leaves a bad taste, in somebody's mouth. And this same person also said they can't unionize because they're independent contractors, but there were over 600 people that were outraged of the 2,000. This one coach said it best. She said, for a company whose mission it is to help empower people through the world, they're not walking the walk. Spot on. Here's another interesting thing. Better Up. They do these things called stipends, which they utilize for creating assignments like articles and videos and podcasts and stuff. But they're basically eliminating that. So they're being told to complete these tasks for a multi-million-dollar company, but they're not going to get paid for it. And so the coaches are like, we're not volunteering our time. Now, here's the biggest part. One of the people said, the company lacks transparency. They've hired and hired and hired, and they have so many VPs, we don't even know what the VPs do. And none of the coaches was even clear about Prince Harry's role either, raising questions about how meaningful his role is. Spot on. A private social media group was set up with hundreds of the coaches. By the way, they're not allowed to discuss their pay with each other. And they expressed concern about the rapid evolution of the professional coaching world. Basically, it's crowd force funded. Did I say that right? I hope so. Anyway, most of the coaches said they're going to have to stick because it's their primary income and they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Well, I got to tell you, my thought process on that is you should take Harry's advice. And if you're unhappy, you should just quit. Spot on. Well, here we are a year later. And what's going on? Better Up is laying off 16% of its staff. Multiple people who are familiar with this have reported this is more than 100 employees. Now, the company raised in 2021, according to this article, almost $5 billion in valuation, but it's had all kinds of internal problems, including the rebellion that I just told you about by its coaches last spring. It missed its financial targets last year, and the executives are trying to reduce overhead. So Better Up and Harry will not respond for comments. And I think this is another thing because you have to realize these are not mental health counselors. These are life coaches. These are people that are supposed to just help you organize your life. It's a 6-month thing you can get off the internet. All right, guys, that's the end of video 3. So you know what I'm looking for. Comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you've already done that, double check. Make sure you're still subscribed. I'm still being told by people they've been unsubscribed. I can't help you. You've got to contact YouTube. Don't forget to go into the description box. You'll find the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, a physical address. And for those of you who've donated to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.